If for some reason you did not read the title of the video or looked at the thumbnail, this is your final warning. You're going to see some very flash rapid lights, and you're going to hear a very annoying high-pitched whining sound that isn't just my voice this time. This thing can cause problems for you if you're sensitive to those kinds of things, so please turn this video off or listen to it in the background if those things affect you. One last chance, because I'm turning off the lights and you're going to see exactly what this thing does, and why I think it's rather cool, but it's definitely not for everyone. It's actually nice and cozy out in the garage when everything's pitch black. I'm pulling the pin right now. And it's done. Then you'll just push the handle back in and you'll push the pin back in. And that's the end of the Flashboom. Now on to the video. And so, the Flashboom, a rather interesting piece of kit. This thing will retail you about $30, $35 from nfstrike.com, Worker Kit, Tactical X-Men, any website in that kind of light-take family that you would expect to find this one. This one was sent to me by Worker Kit, I believe. I'll have a link for buying one of these down in the description below, but all of those websites should be carrying it. And right off the bat, it's a really interesting looking device. This obviously is not something that you should be using at any public game. This is not something you should be using for fun. It wouldn't even really do anything outside anyway, but this is something to be used by serious, like, adults and stuff only. In fact, it doesn't have to be used in Nerf, for instance. It could be used airsoft, paintball, and the like. I think airsoft is really the only place you'd be using something like this, but I can imagine if you're using this in like an arena, like a laser tag, so it's dark and there's black light and stuff like that, this would be extremely effective if you're staring right at it. These LEDs, like, look at the size of these panels. They are exceptionally big, and that noise is pretty annoying. It comes off a lot worse on camera. I can look straight at this thing. It is discomforting, but I have very sensitive eyes to light, and this does not bother me all that much. It just looks and sounds much worse on camera. And it's completely made of plastic. It's powered by a LiPo, which you can buy with it or without it. I'm not sure exactly how much the LiPo version is, but I would kind of recommend buying one because it's a tiny little 3S LiPo, and it's the exact same LiPo that I used inside. Come on, come out, please. I need to show you to the camera. There we go. It is the same exact LiPo that shipped with this thing, which I don't think I ever did a video on because it was pretty crap, to be completely honest, and now it doesn't matter because it's been replaced by something way better and way different, and it's a really good little LiPo. It says it's 1800 milliamp hours. I think my other one said it was 2200 milliamp hours. I have no idea what the actual capacity of this, but it is a 3S LiPo and it does work really good inside of a Hurricane. So bonus if you have a Hurricane and you buy one of these things with the LiPo. Fold all these wires down, grab the battery cover, and there we go. So the overall device is pretty freaking cool looking. It's rather robust. It's made of that kind of softer ABS plastic, so if you throw it around, if it hits concrete or something, it could chip, but it's most likely going to dent before any of that. I should note that mine already has these weird protrusions. I'm guessing they might have used slightly too long screws when they were putting this thing together. There's a big old speaker right there. There's a little LED ring right here, which has green LEDs that flash around it, which is exceptionally cool. And then, of course, these massive LED panels, which are huge. It doesn't activate until you pull the pin. The actual that does not do anything. However, you can stop it by putting that back in. So if it does go out, this does not do anything. You need to put the pin back in. So it'll basically start going off the second you pull the pin. Keep that in mind. I don't know if that's a design flaw with mine, but that's just how mine operates. And what I can say about it is it looks cool. It works exceptionally well for what it is. Like, for instance, I would probably keep this upstairs next to my bed, so if I hear something go bump downstairs, I can, of course, pull the pin, shuck this down my stairs, and before anybody kind of figures out what's going on with that, I've probably already grabbed my shotgun, and I'm probably going to be death rolling off the bed into the stairwell and going to be pointing it at anything that happens to be down there and deciding if I want to blow it away or not. That is a pretty good use for something like this. Mine's kind of dirty inside. It's got some particulates that are floating around in there. I don't know if that's going to be a regular problem. And of course, this plexiglass can get scratched up, but it's really, really thick, rigid stuff. It looks cool. It's very interesting. And if you have the proper game mode, this thing would be perfect. Again, I'm going to kind of go with it would be really nice to use in a laser tag arena if you're doing a Nerf war in there, because that's a very common thing that happens. If you're an Airsofter, you play it in kind of like milsim night things, you probably have more effective flashbangs. Maybe they're cheaper than $30, I don't know. I know that Airsofters use live smoke grenades at a lot of events, so I would imagine something like this is kind of underkill for what they're used to, and I don't know exactly how long this thing would last. It feels really nice. Like, I could hit this thing all day. If it bounces off concrete a couple of times, your mileage may vary, but using it in here, I kind of wish the rest of this was rubberized a little bit, because that would help minimize the wear and tear on it. That being said, it's only really useful in those scenarios, like home defense, quite literally, although I think it would just do something that mildly annoy an intruder, laser tag arena, or some kind of other night game that everybody is aware that this is a thing and they're okay with it, you know, flashing at them. That could give you some kind of little advantage if it's in pitch black, because it's a strobing effect. It kind of masks movement and whatnot, makes you harder to hit, and it makes it harder for them to aim accurately. And then, like, of course, an airsoft game that happens to be at night or in a dark building, and you can throw something like this out, and it's a thing. That's really, I can't imagine too many other uses for that. I guess my entire review of the whole Flashboom is that it's a really cool, rugged, nicely built thing. I like it, it looks cool. I'd keep it on my gear without the battery in it because it just looks menacing, but I would not use it probably myself ever, and that's really all she wrote about this thing. Again, I'm thankful this was sent off to me because it's another cool thing I get to take a look at, but yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about getting one yourself unless you have a specific use for something like this. But again, why would you buy a flash grenade or something like that unless you had a specific use for something like that? Let me know what you think about this nifty little device down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your uses for it if I missed anything, or if you think this thing would be really cool if what you're doing it, or it would be absolutely terrible for some reason I didn't already list. But other than that, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course I hope to see you in an entirely different one. I bet you weren't expecting a review of a flash grenade thing.
You gotta outside.